I've said a lot about American trads, and I don't want to be, I don't come across as negative, but I'm going to give you some honest feedback, and I ask traditional American Catholics to please take this to heart. Um, as I said, I've lived in Mexico for many years, and when I go to America, I'll often go to mass in Spanish, and you see a whole different underworld, a different population that you would normally see at a new mass or at a traditional Latin mass, and just remember that around you. I mean, I'm talking about where I've worked in the States. There's a whole world that you may not be aware of, and a whole suffering world that you're not aware of. And when these people go to mass, it could be in Spanish, and they're ministered, and they're sending money home to Mexico. Just be careful how we talk about our fellow baptized brothers. Where Christ is looking, the people that Christ looks at, are not always the people that we're looking at. I promoted a mass, a traditional Latin mass. It was actually in the SSPX mass on my channel once, and a lot of people that don't go to Latin mass, they came along to the traditional Latin mass that I promoted. And one lady arrived, and she was in jeans and a top. Now, she wasn't badly dressed, but she was just, she was just going to mass. And then afterwards, she came up to me. Oh, Robert, that was a beautiful mass, but somebody said that maybe next time I dress up better. Now, I know this lady doesn't have the means and wherewithal to go out and buy a veil, and in that moment of time, but she was going with her heart she really was going with her heart to encounter our Lord. And as Catholics and as Christians, instead of helping her and supporting her and giving her a smile, or we put her down. And that's just a symptom of it. Catholics will come around to how we dress and how we go to the mass in due course. They'll be informed. But when somebody comes with a good heart to love our Lord, we should help them and be there to support them. And so, Traditionis Custodes, and I know this for a fact, guys. I know this from Rome. Traditionis Custodes was very much focused on some elements in America. And it's hard to say this. It wasn't focused on France. It wasn't focused on the United Kingdom or Canada or Ireland or any other country that's offering the traditional Latin Mass. It was a direct result of what was happening in America, where sadly, and we have to all do our examination of conscience, it was practically becoming the official Catholic religion of a certain political party without going into it. Now, to be clear, guys, if I was an American, and I think everybody knows who I would vote for. I would vote for candidates that support life, freedom of speech, the right to protect ourselves. Let's not kill ourselves, so that people know which end of the spectrum I'm on. But the purpose of our faith, guys, is to get to heaven. The supreme law of the church is salvation of souls. Our Lord came to prepare us for his kingdom. And so just bring all Catholics along with you. And that's really important. And to understand, I mean, it used to break my heart when I was going to work in Atlanta, and you'd see people walking around the streets with blankets, and I remember going to mass down in Atlanta, passing 5 Points. I don't know if people know this place. And my American friends were saying, "What, you walk down that street? Are you crazy, Robert? We never go down there. That's kind of in this area of the town." I said, "No, like I'm just an ordinary Irish guy. I walk everywhere, and I take the Martha, and our Lord is looking there. Like he's looking at those that are suffering, and he's asking what we're doing for them." So our traditional faith, our traditional Catholic practices are sacred, they're deep, they've got roots. But from that, we have to draw it and give it to those who don't know Christ. And our eyes should be always fixed on where Christ's eyes are fixed. And so that's my advice to give to America. I mean, you've got amazing families over there, amazing communities. You're just so blessed with all of the diversity in the Catholic faith. You've got some good bishops there. There's an old bishop there, Jesuit Bishop Morello. I think he's dead, but you know,
Oh, Morlino.
yeah. I mean,
yeah, or
he was
Wisconsin. Yeah,
he was amazing for a Jesuit. You were blessed to have such an amazing bishop like him, and you've got others like that, Bishop Sample, Bishop, Bishop. Bishop Barron, although many people criticize him, privately he seems to be very okay with traditional Latin Mass. So, like, play to your strengths, lead the world, but always be conscious, who our faith is to be given to those around us, is to be the yeast to transform our communities. And I suppose as an Irishman, I'm always going to go to America looking at it that way. And having worked in New Mexico for so many years and having gone to so many communities, just to give you that encouragement. And I'm not saying you don't do it, but I'm just saying don't be cognizant of the beauty of our church, and in all its different forms and different ways that the faith is expressed. But I just want to give that encouragement, because you do lead the world. You do, especially in the English Catholic world. American bloggers lead, so the Vatican is always going to look at you, and so just lead with humility, lead with with obedience, lead with humility, and lead with love.